Yep.
I was just wondering, how will you describe the Palestinians' emotions and thoughts about this conflict?
Right now we're furious, I think. Probably that's the best word. Why? Because we're furious, first of all, what happened to us in 1948. That shouldn't get out to happen. If you're a history buff and you would like to know why we're so furious, there's a book that was written about 60 years prior to 1948. It's by an Austrian Jewish writer. His name was Theodor Herzl. You know this name?
Yeah.
He wrote a book called The Jewish State, or it was translated as The Jewish State. Read the book. It's a very nice small pamphlet. In 1890s, it was written, talking about how we're going to take over another piece of land and make it a Jewish state. Happens to be we were the lucky ones. I bet you if it was Denmark that was the target of the state being created, you would be as furious as the Palestinians are. So that's the first level of furiousness. The second level of furiousness is a little bit about an internal of how our own conflict was managed, our own leadership. Of how can you not get progress after 64 years of so much sacrifice and so much struggle and so much people being lost and so much money being thrown at this. So there's a furiousness about our own internal politics. And then when Oslo happened, there's a huge furiousness about we accepted a concession up front. And this is, I'm an MBA student from Tel Aviv University. When I was allowed to go to Tel Aviv, I got an MBA. Now I'm not even allowed to go there. But my Israeli negotiations instructor, gave a very basic, understanding of how negotiations happen. And he taught us, like everybody will learn in negotiations, you don't give your concessions up front. I want to buy your house. I don't come and tell you, look, I only have $100 and I have to buy it by tomorrow, otherwise it's not going to work. And then I say, let's talk. You don't do that. I tell you, let's go for a cup of coffee. And I say a word and you say a word. And we try to understand where we're coming. And I see if I can get it for $80 and you see if you can get 120. And we come to a conclusion. The Palestinians didn't do that. We thought, because in that Oslo agreement, the big powers in the world were there. The USSR was there at the time, and America was the co-signers. We thought, Arafat thought at least, that if I give my concession up front, I will show that I'm going into this in good faith. So he gave a concession. And what did the Israelis do? They came to the table, like good negotiators, and said, okay, thank you for your concession. Now, in negotiations, Mr. Arafat, both parties have to give in a little bit. And Arafat stood there like the naked emperor and said, I have nothing else to give. So there's a furiousness about the lack of the international community holding Israel to its word in Oslo. I can give so many examples of how Oslo failed, but it's really water under the bridge today.
Yeah, do you think it's possible